Every day is upside down day in Celine. Hi and welcome to the Celine show where everybody's upside down. Today I have a very, very dear guest. Finally, actually, I wanted to interview her when we first met in Perth, because that's the first time we met. And she was way too humble, and she's still way too humble. But finally I got you in front of the camera. So I'm just going to tell a little bit of a backstory. I met Celine on Instagram. And we were like kind of back to back with our progress. Like she was learning the press when I was learning the press, and she's learning one-arm handstands when I am learning one-arm handstands, but she's like skyrocketing. And by now you're kind of like far ahead of me.
Wouldn't say that.
Pretty much. Where are you right now? You're like starting to get 5-second consistent holds.
Well,
pretty much every training.
Once, yeah. I'd say every training I get one at least 5-second hold. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that's consistent.
But yeah, I mean, at least you do. I haven't gotten any yet. So yeah, I'm so happy to finally get you in front of the camera and talk to you. How did you get into handstands?
Actually, I was always kind of drawn to handstands. Even as a child, I loved gymnastics just in school, but nothing, never really specialized on it or so, or there was no even option to go to a gymnastics course or so. It's just in school itself. I always liked to move my body, but then I went to not completely other direction. I played handball and volleyball actually as well, even though I'm
Really?
so short. Yeah. But eventually I signed up in a gym and started group fitness classes there. And I always tried to do some handstands. It was always there. But as it is at the beginning, or as you never realize how you actually have to practice handstands to eventually get one. So yeah, I was just kicking up and thought one day I will be able to hold a handstand. Then I started with CrossFit, so I could walk on my hands easily. That was never a problem. But lots of CrossFitters, they try to hold handstands as well.
Yeah.
So again, I kicked up. Sometimes I did some wall drills, but yeah, it never turned out that I could hold a handstand.
And were you training consistently? Handstands?
Wouldn't say no. Nowadays, how I define consistent, no. But I'd say once every week, once every 2 weeks, or after a workout, maybe I kicked up a few times just to see if I can maybe hold a handstand. So that was it. And then as well, I practiced yoga quite a while and on a regular basis. where in yoga handstands became quite popular as well. So even there I tried lots of handstands, but like with the same way how I tried to finally be able to hold the handstands, just kicking up. That was it.
Yeah.
So I was then at the point where I could hold a handstand sometimes for 5 to 10 seconds, but that was just coincidence as I know now. So I kicked up and then coincidentally I put my body into the right position, right? And then I hold it, came down, and then, oh yes, I was holding a handstand.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was about 1.5 years ago. So yeah, I had those 5-10 seconds, but very inconsistent and just coincidence. And yeah, but I knew somehow deep inside, I knew I really want to learn handstands. Then I started teaching yoga for a yoga company. I was assisting teacher I've been assisting teacher trainings. And one of my fellow teachers there, he's practicing handstands, or he's been practicing handstands for 7-8 years. I think you interviewed him just recently. David. And he was already training on his one arm. So I started practicing with him every day. And then he introduced me to one of his friends, and that's how I met my teacher. So yeah, my teacher is Harry. So I went to Perth and he programmed my handstand training and since then I practice handstands every day. That was February last year.
Yeah, and obviously his programming is top notch, and also your following of it is top notch because it's rare to see that progress. Like if you compare yourself to other people. Yeah,
I think it's different factors which play a role. So of course, I think the program is what you need. The program needs to be specific. It needs to be the proper drills, which are, sorry to say that, like in most yoga and CrossFit classes, are just crap drills. You will never be able to balance on your hands. So it needs to be from the teacher needs to know how to program, how to get a beginner to learn how to balance on your hands and not just coincidentally. So yeah, the program he gave me, for me, it matched completely. So yeah, that's how I progressed quite fast. But then I think I didn't have to build the strength at first. So I could already hold a chest against the wall quite long. I could hold it a minute from the first day on. So I didn't have to build the strength there. But then I followed his program diligently and progressed quite fast.
So it's actually very interesting to see. You put a lot more focus on pressing than I did. For various reasons, mainly probably because I don't like pressing. But do you think that has had a good influence on your one arms too?
I guess so, yeah. So I think after that I built so much more strength in my muscle, in my shoulders, in my traps through those pressing drills, So first, before I actually even started with pressing drills, I only worked on my straight handstand, and until I had my minute handstand, I didn't do any press drills. But then as soon as I was consistent on my minute, I started working specifically on the press, and then I had it quite quickly, and then when I started, I think because I got quite consistent in pressing, well, I got it, I lost it, I got it and lost it again. That's how it is, right? But then I think because I got quite consistent, I built so much strength for that push. That's why I guess my one arms or fingertips hold at the beginning were already quite strong when I started.
Yeah. You told me you had like 30 seconds on fingertips already, like at the beginning when you started them. Yeah. That's pretty long.
In a shitty line though, so my hips were wrong, but I was on my fingertips. I mean, it's still kind of two arm, but yeah,
because I can't even do that now. As soon as I shift weight, maybe I can hold 10 seconds max, 15. Yeah. What does your training look like at the moment?
At the moment, I do some warm-up two-arm stuff, which I actually was so surprised. They're boring me. If you told me that a year ago, I would have no way. It's gonna take me forever until I feel so confident in 2 arms. But yeah, I do some 2 arm straight holds, just a minute to warm up, then some shapes, and then I think the most important part about my warm up, or as well for building strength, is tuck holds. So I do 3 times 25 to 30 seconds head in, tuck, deep tuck, and then I start my 1 arm drills. So, and they differ from one day to the other. So I have 2 different programs kind of for the 1 arms. One of them is just shifting weights, fingertip holds 10 times for some left and right.
Yeah.
Then I do as light as possible, 5 to 8 rounds, depends on the day. 1 fingertip holds, and then as light as possible. That's where I struggle actually the most. Mm-hmm. Then I do 3 rounds of straight fingertips holds, and then conditioning 5 rounds, 25-second fingertip holds.
At the wall? Or
no, actually it shouldn't be against the wall, but then I recently started going back against the wall.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the other day I do presses before I start doing 1 arms. And but then no straight holds, so it just varies a little bit to the other one.
Yeah.
And in between I shouldn't, but I play all the time and try to go for glory.
Maybe that's a good thing. I mean, obviously it works.
Yeah, I think like that you see what you do wrong. Well, you not see what you do wrong, but you feel, okay, fuck, I fall to the left side, so that means I need to bring my hips more to the right side, or then it's the other way around, or then I start rotating, so I need to work on that rotation.
Yeah.
Although sometimes over analyzing it probably doesn't help either. So
yeah, I agree. How do you train in this environment? I mean, you spent a big portion of your time in Perth with Harry and Lewis and training with all the cool people. But you also spend a big portion here in Bali where you train at the beach.
Yeah.
In the sand.
Of course, I always have my wooden board with me, so I can just put that anywhere where it's not that even. But yeah, it is tough because as well the schedule, I work from 7:30 to 6. Then I do have my breaks, and I have some time where other teachers are teaching, so I don't have to be present in the yoga shala. So I have time to train then. And then I just find a spot and train. And you get used to it.
Yeah.
Of course, it's tricky to always go to a new spot, a new environment, to travel forth and back. And yeah, and I think I'm not as focused when I train here as when I am back in Perth and spending time with all those amazing people. Definitely. And I actually can feel every time when I go back to Perth, my training is so much better than when I train here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Do you think it's also good to have the breaks in between? Like not being able to train at the high pace all the time?
I think only in terms of strength or recovery. Because when I'm in Perth, I do have my bent arm and straight arm sessions as well, which I'm not really doing here. First, because I don't have the time. Second, I don't really have the equipment. So I focus more on 1 arms here. So I think my muscles are a bit more or less tired than when I'm in Perth. So when I go back there, the perfect environment and my muscles not completely fried, that's probably the advantage of this reduced training here, I'd say.
So that means you generally have an all-round program.
Yeah.
So is there any specific goal you're training towards to?
1 arm and shoulder press. That's for now my goal actually. The focus. And
for like other skills, because you also do bent arm and
I think pulling. Eventually it would be nice to have a handstand push-up. And I enjoy gymnastic rings as well. But my elbow doesn't really like it, so I have to be quite careful there. And my focus is still handstand, so it's fine if I don't progress that fast with the ring work. So.
And you also teach, right? I mean, you toured with Harry, and kind of assisted?
Yeah.
Or what exactly do you do with him?
Yeah, so last year he was teaching 6 workshops in Switzerland, where I'm from. So I was assisting him. And learned so much, of course, from him as well. Just the way he explains. He's a very charismatic entertainer and just can explain everything in such a simple way to beginners. Not only beginners, but I think it's just easy to get an understanding, because he's not only he teaches lots of theory as well, so you get the understanding of physics, of balance, what's important, where does it come from, and everyone always has those aha effects. So I kind of learned lots from him as a teacher how to teach, because I heard it so many times. And so when I came back here to the yoga teacher training where we have a handstand workshop as well, I started teaching that. And in the same way, of course, he teaches it, as I could pick up so much stuff from him. Yeah. So I teach nearly, I'm here nearly every second month, and then I teach the handstand workshop.
Cool. And you're touring around Europe this summer?
Yeah, in August, September. But I'm not going to join him for all the trainings or all the workshops. I stay with my family and he can travel around. I'm
actually not sure if we're going to be able to publish this interview before that. No, probably not. We have so much stuff.
Oh yeah, sure, it's August. So.
But you also host a retreat, a handstand, or is it a movement retreat?
Yeah, it's a movement retreat, but focused on handstand. So there was every day we had handstand sessions. So we had the first one this year in April in Bali in a really nice private villa. We always try to have 2 different teachers as well. So it's Harry, myself, and 2 other teachers. So all the attendees who join the retreat have different perspectives, different approaches from teachers in different fields. So this year we had Joachim and Devin. And then it was very successful. It was really cool. We had an amazing group, and and all, like, most of them said they want to come again. So that's why now, 3 months later, we have already organized the new dates for next year, booked the villa, and actually already sold some spots.
Cool. When is it going to be?
It's going to be end of April 2020. And we're going to have Joachim again. And maybe you can tag him. And Mikael Kristiansen.
That's going to be awesome.
So that one is probably going to be more focused on handstands, because we're going to have 2 amazing handstand teachers and a mobility guy.
Mobility,
exactly.
Flexibility.
So probably that one will be more focused on hand balancing.
Awesome. I really hope we can come.
Cool.
We don't know how it's going to end up with the US, if we have to be present there, or that's
that
another
would be
story.
so good.
But I really hope we can come. So thank you so much for coming on the show.
You're welcome.
Finally got it from the camera. It's been really so good to have you as a motivation, because it helps so much to check Instagram. Shit, she just had a 5-second hold. I really better get moving now.
Same. It's all. I think that's anyway the best. It's you, me, and then some other girls. We are kind of the same level, and I just love watching everyone's progress. And she's working on that. I want to work on that too. It's so good. I love that.
That's one good reason for Instagram to exist.
That's actually the main reason.
Or also that we met.
Because
that was also a crazy coincidence. So thank you.
You're welcome.
I will put all the details down below about the retreat, about Celine, about anything we talked about. And so you can check her out. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to comment down below. And other than that, it's never too late to do what you love. And I'll see you next Monday on the Sonjiland Show. We just learned if you do Nauli before you do handstands, you can get all the handstands